What's happening, guys? You're here with Nate. This is Crossbeats Production. Thanks for tuning in. I want to show you guys a few tips with lo-fi beats here in Studio One 5. Also, I want to share some plugins from Waves that I really like using for lo-fi. So first off, let's get to the tip to do with the lo-fi, with the plugin side of it. And also the links will be in the description as to where you can purchase these with Waves. If you use those links, I'll get a small percentage. It costs you nothing more to use those links. It just helps my channel out. And this is one of my most favorite plugins so far for lo-fi, as far as getting that griminess and the grittiness to your tracks. So I'll show you what it sounds like also on the tracks. Let me play this track to you first. So you can kind of already hear it's got that, that tape kind of feel to it. And let's hit play on this. Alright, so you kind of heard the track there. I'll get into some of the features of the plugin just briefly. I don't want to get into too much, but this one is a really neat plugin. It does a great job of getting that grime, that grit to your sound, and just giving that the lo-fi sound you really want. So I'll show you the tip that I was going to talk about in this video, and that has to do with the drums. So you can hear in the plugin here, yeah, this one here. So this is solo, this is my hi-hat, and I'll just take off Retrofi on this one as well. So that's how my hi-hat sounded without the plugin. This is with it on. Real different, real gritty and really nice and just suitable for this track. So first thing is first, let me get into how I created these hi-hats, because this hi-hat is actually a loop I created from another hi-hat loop, and I used the same kind of movement that this hi-hat had, and I just really wanted to give it that humanization kind of effect. So I'll explain to you what I mean by that is. So first off, let me just bring this up. I've got a whole bunch of loops from cinematics, but I don't want to use particularly exactly their loop. I like to use my own sort of style and create my own vibe to it, but I like some of their sounds. So if I had a loop, for example, I'll just quickly play through some of these and see if they match what I'm after. All right, perfect. So this one is kind of the vibe that I would maybe use or go for. Let's solo this and see what it sounds like. I'll just unsolo everything first. And we'll just solo this sound by itself and also turn it down. All right, so have a listen to this, check it out. All right, so it's that kind of vibe, but I don't particularly want to have every single sound from their pack. So let's just go in here and see what I can do with it. So first off, I'll get the section here. This is that little area where you can mark the mark points or the transients on your audio file. So if I get that and open this up and go to analyze, leave it on standard, hit analyze, and we'll analyze that. Pretty much analyzes every single transient point. So if I just play this out again and have a listen. All right, so maybe that part I probably would keep separate, but I might just leave it in there for now and just see how it sounds. But the reason why I brought this up is because once you've analyzed this, it shows you the transient markers like I showed you here, and you've got it available here, but you can go across to this little Q button where it says quantize. And if you do that, then you can bring this straight into the quantize little window here, and that gives you the option then to use that as MIDI. So if I wanted to say, for example, just copy, maybe just for the quickness of this, I'll just copy this one particular sample here, and I'll just hit Command and O on my keyboard and create a sample, and then I'll just solo that as well so I can hear it. Let's hit play on the keyboard. All right, so I've got a sample now, and I can work with that sample however I please. But say if I wanted to just use this MIDI, I can literally drag this MIDI down here onto my new sample, and now I've got a sample that I can play. I'll just unsolo that and leave this open, so I'll hit play. Okay, so I'm starting to create my own kind of vibe to this track. This is being played through this sample, as you can see. I can turn the amp down a bit, change the ADSR attack a little bit, so reduce some of the attack. And now we're starting to get our own kind of vibe from our own kind of sample we're creating. So you're creating an original sample from an original sample that was created, but this is your sound, right? So let's just go and chuck a lo-fi plugin on here, because this is kind of what we're going for, right? We want to get the lo-fi plugin here. And now we've got some lo-fi action. And we'll just take the space off because we don't really need the noise in the space. So now we've got a different sample altogether, but that was the hi-hat originally that we created. So you can see in here, as I was playing the sample through, I might turn the amp up a bit. And now you can see with the space, if we add that, it gives that lo-fi kind of effect. So if I just added this to the rest of my song, and I'll take my hi-hats out. See, I wouldn't have been able to play that if I tried. I mean, that took me what, 5 minutes to get that all together and get my own kind of rhythm section and then use the sample, create it how I wanted it to be. Yeah, it was literally kind of the same kind of vibe, but you can go into this MIDI now and affect it how you want. You don't have to have it identical. You've got full control over the MIDI. So if I want to go in there and, you know, humanize some of it a little bit more, just expand this a bit more. So I can go and humanize, take some out, add some in, whatever I want to do, turn this down a little bit. It's totally up to you how you want to control it. Like, you've got full control over now your MIDI, and you can control the sound a little bit more effectively than just having the drum loop that you just were given and then throwing it into your project. So hopefully this is of benefit. Hopefully it helps you guys out. If you do like this kind of stuff, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And this is a tip for Friday for this week. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.